So when you have them turn this on, they'll go into the BSL student lab and they'll select Pulmonary Function 1 or Lesson 12 in the BSL Lesson tab and then open it. And they'll need to select a unique file name so they can find their data. Okay, and then you'll enter your subject data. So how old are you, Reed?
23.
And how tall are you?
6'3".
Okay, so what this is going to be doing is it's going to be setting the computer to calculate estimated volumes, and it also helps set the scale for the computer. We're going to have, do we have 6 of these now? Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll have a calibration syringe on each table. All right, these need to be checked. I forgot to tell you this. Check these at the beginning of the lab for cracks around the top, because if there's a large crack in them, they need to be switched out and replaced. Or the crack needs to be covered with tape if we don't have a replacement. But this is going to set the volumes for the machine, so it's really important that we have a good seal around the top. Okay, so the computer will walk the students through the program. So I'm going to hand you the mouthpiece. Okay, so you want to tell them what to do? Based on the screen, I'll just step back here.
Hold the airflow transducer vertical and still, making sure no air is flowing through it.
Okay, so the computer is going to go through 2 times and it's going to calibrate. It's important that they aren't moving this around and creating airflow within the transducer. And then so you just check and make sure that it's a flat line. If it is, then you can continue. If it isn't, they need to redo it. Okay. Now we're going to do the calibration. Now I want to point out a couple of things, and the pictures on here are pretty clear, but we need to you need to run through this with the students. Okay. Sorry. So they're going to place this in on a biological filter from the inlet side. Now, when they're calibrating, they need to start with the syringe out, and they need to make sure that they're holding it by the syringe. The worst thing that the students can do, and you need to tell them this, is to hold on to the respirometer while they're pushing the plunger. Because what happens is that puts pressure on this part of the equipment, and it will crack this part where the screws are. This is a very expensive piece of equipment to replace. If they just hold the syringe and move the plunger like so, they're not going to break the equipment. And it shows that in the picture. So, and it also says it in the lab manual. But demonstrate it before the class. Just say, make sure when you're calibrating that you're holding onto the syringe. Okay? All right. So when she clicks calibrate, he's going to go plunge it in and out 5 times with 2 seconds in between. That'll work. All right, so we're going to click continue, and you're going to place a mouthpiece on the end of the biological filter. So these are clean mouthpieces. They should be new between people. When they're done with it, the second experiment, they'll throw them in the trash. And make sure that these are on the inlet side. Okay, so the picture in the lab manual tells the students to use the nose clip. We have nose clips, but they actually don't pinch as well as just holding your fingers. So we prefer it to have the students pinch their nose. If they want a nose clip, we have them. They're in the bins up at the front of the class. But it's all the directions for the capacities and the recordings are here on the screen, and they can follow those. But I'm just going to walk him through these as he's going. So we want the person seated, and it says in a relaxed position, but we don't want them slumping because we want them to have the total lung volume. All right, so go ahead and sit up a little straighter. All right, so we're going to have him just put the mouthpiece in his mouth and pinch his nose and breathe for about 20 seconds before we turn anything on. We just want him to get used to the feel of breathing, because it is a little weird to breathe through that with a little resistance. Okay, so after about 20 seconds, you'll hit record, and they're going to breathe 5 normal breaths. So there's 1, 2. Okay, so after the fifth one, we'll tell you when to go. You're going to do a maximal inhale. And with this, it's important that you use your accessory muscles and lift your shoulders and your chest up and out when you're breathing. Okay, you're going to do a maximum inhale and then a maximum exhale. And on your exhale, I want you to push everything out and curl up. Okay, you ready? Next breath. Go all the way, keep it. Good. Keep going. Go, go, go. Everything out. Perfect. Now 5 normal breaths. All right, that's 5. So she's going to click stop. Okay, you can just set that down. Keep your filter in your mouthpiece until the next one. So you compare your data to the sample data. It looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and click done so we can analyze the data. And so you analyze the current data file. Now these lessons are set up to where you can use these journals. We don't have it set up. We're not going to use the journal right now. So have the students drag the bar down for the journal. So if you just click on this gray bar in the middle and drag it down, then it'll maximize their image. Okay, so the lab manual clearly tells them how to do the measurement. One thing though, as a TA, when you're walking around, watch how they measure. If they use this peak that's directly in front of this, they need to use the same top and bottom of the tidal volumes for all their measurement. Because if they use this one to go to the peak, and then they try to use this one, they have different baselines. Okay, so when in their data analysis, if you walk up and it just doesn't seem like it makes sense, that's typically what happens. They're using different points, and so they'll get one that's really large and one that's really small that you're not expecting.